All right, check out what we picked up. A 2006 YZ250F. Just got it home. I didn't bring my camera. I was in Oshkosh, and this thing popped up, and it was up for 1,500 bucks. I guess the guy said he had like 4 other people coming, and I got it for $1,350. Really nice. Top end was rebuilt on it, but he could not get it to run. He said it still has low compression. Seems like he said. So we are going to try to figure that out. He said there's a brand new Wiseco piston in it, still on the stock bore, and he just can't get it to fire. It's got the XL rims. Tires on it are pretty beefy yet. Blue XL rims. It's got the PMR pipe. And then check this out. Power Bomb FMF header. And then it's got the Boyson factory racing cover. It's got another cover for the oil cover. And then it looks like the suspension was rebuilt. Pro Action suspension. All the specs are over here on it. Just hop up here. Pro Action airspace 330cc, oil weight. Spring is stock, compression 12, rebound 9, and that was done in 2019. Got the Pro Taper bars on it. Looks really nice. All the plastics are intact. Vinny's just pooping everywhere. It's like, don't put this on camera. Don't do it. Now I gotta pick that up, Vin. He's crazy, dog. I guess that's how he feels about the bike. But before we start working on this thing, you can see it's really dirty. So we're gonna go pressure wash it first through the car wash, and then we'll start working on this thing. Alright, on our way back home from the car wash, the car wash ran out of soap, so I got it as clean as I could get it without having, you know, enough soap. So we'll check it out once we get back home. We'll walk around here before we start working on it. You can see compression. Pretty much, it's pretty low. You could easily start it with your hand. So we'll see. Yeah, she feels like she's got low compression. Pretty easy to kick over. She was not going to start. Alright, let's get in the garage and start looking at it. Something's got to be up with it. Alright, we got the bike in the garage here. Let's see if we can figure out this problem. So I looked up on some forums and they said that sometimes these things can flood with gas down the cylinder. And what happens is the gas takes away the oil on the cylinder and then the rings don't seat. For some reason, it happens on these models a lot, people said. So what you do to prevent that is don't twist the throttle a million times, because there's an accelerator pump in there. And they also said to put some more oil down the cylinder and it will recoat those rings. But, you know, it shouldn't have to do that, you know? I've had many bikes that gas got in there and it had plenty of compression, so I don't know if that's very accurate. But we are going to take a look at this bike today and just see what's going on. I will start with the basics and go from there. This thing needs spark, compression, and fuel to start. So let's start by seeing if it holds coolant. The guy did say he put some coolant in here and it was holding, so we'll see if he's telling the truth here. Seemed like a pretty nice guy. Yep, you can see it's topped off with coolant. So coolant's in there. We'll check the air filter next. At least there's an air filter in there. That's good. Looks like he didn't clean it off or anything though. Oh, maybe a little bit. It's not horrible. Doesn't really feel that oiled though. So we'll probably take that out and oil that up, clean it out a little bit. The petcock is actually up here on the bike. You can see right now it's in the off position. Let's just see if any gas is flowing from the tank to the carb. I really don't know if there's gas in here. We will see though. Oh yeah. Doesn't look like very good gas. Let's see if the petcock's working. Nothing. Well, that could be one of the problems. There's no gas in it. Huh. I don't think he said he drained it. Yeah, there's no gas coming out of there at all. Well, hey, maybe that's the problem. See if anything drains out. Oh yeah, there's some gas flowing. So I had gas in it. You can see it draining out of there. But there's plenty of gas in there. Probably should have fired up with that amount of gas in there. Alright, we've got access to the top of the head here. You can see the spark plug's right in here. Let's see what kind of plug we've got in here. Will this fit down there? Alright, let's see what plug is in there. Alright, plug looks brand new. CR8E, running the right plug. Yeah, this thing's never been fired up. Look how white that tip is. Do we have spark? That's the question. We will see here. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Got spark. Great spark. See if I can get a compression tester down here. Oh yeah. Alright. You guys are gonna watch this. We're gonna kick this thing over with the throttle open. See what we get. Yeah, only 45 pounds of compression. That's not very much. I don't think that's right. So definitely lower on the compression. We'll look up in the manual and see what it's supposed to be at. So I looked in the manual and it doesn't say anything about a compression check. I've heard a couple people online saying it should have 90 pounds compression. I've heard a couple people say 60. It seems like nobody really knows what it's supposed to have with the decompression mechanism. So we are going to just see if it's the rings right away here. We're going to put some oil down the cylinder and that will tell us right away if it's the rings. Alright, let's see if compression goes up at all. And it might go up a little bit just because these rings haven't seated yet. And this is going to rule out the rings for us right here. Or tell us if it is the rings. Alright, so just watch that compression. Yeah, definitely not the rings. We only got 40 there. So we know it's not the rings, and I kind of assumed it wasn't the rings because there's a brand new piston. So we can rule that out for good. So next thing we're going to check are the valves. So let's get this valve cover off of here. There's a hose clamp right here on it. Get that off. A little oil in there, we'll see. A little tight on there. This lever right here is causing some problems. There we go. Cam chain's nice and tight. No damage to the top of the valve cover. So far everything's looking pretty good in there. So here's the decompression mechanism. That's springing back. It's looking like that's working. Yeah, cam chain's nice and tight. Everything looks really good in there. Not seeing any problems yet. All the valves look good, cams look good. Oh, there's a lot of oil coming out. Jeez. I think this thing was overfilled with oil. I think it should be coming out that much. now we're looking for a little T in there. We're gonna rotate this over. See, it's either a T or a line. Let's see here. Hard to tell. There we go. So there's actually a line in there. It's kind of hard to see. If I can show you guys. Right there. That's what that line looks like. So we're going to line that up with the line in the case right here. And then we'll check and see if the piston's at top dead center. So according to the cams, it looks like we might have to go one more revolution. I think we're still 180 out, so we'll go around one more time here. Till we come back to the mark we need here. And we're right there. All right, we're back at the mark. It looks like maybe, did you put the cam on backwards? No, couldn't have, I wouldn't think. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he put the cam sprocket on backwards. So this one checks out, you can see the little dot right there, and you can look at this side, and there's no dot. There's just in and exhaust right there. So I believe this cam sprocket's on backwards. You should have marks lining up with that. First, I don't know if I can get to it or not. And the timing could still be on. Maybe just the sprocket's backwards on it. Alright. Tensioner. Come out of here. Feels good. Nothing wrong with the tensioner. This cam chain should be pretty loose, so we can take the sprocket off. Here's one of them. It's right here. And let's just see if that was switched around. Should be markings on here. Clean that off. I think he used a different sprocket. I'm not seeing any markings. Alright, we're going to take out the cam here and just check it over. This might be a hot cams on it. Just because the cam sprocket doesn't line up. There we go. Checking to see if it's a hot cam here. This says WWHCEK. I don't know if that's a hot cams or not. So it looks like these are hot cams or aftermarket cams with the adjustable timing. So this guy had it set up correctly. You actually set it up this way and you can see the exhaust mark and the intake mark right there. And there's actually a little dimple next to the exhaust right here, if you guys can see it, that we're going to line up with the surface of the head. See the little dimple? There should be one on the intake as well. Not seeing it though. But anyway, it looks like he marked it right here. That mark lines up with the mark right there, that white mark. So we're going to put that back together the correct way, and then we'll see what those valves are at. Alright, so we have the cam reinstalled here. You can see the exhaust right there, intake right there. It's going to line up perfectly parallel to the surface of the head there. Alright, so checking valves. Intake are supposed to be between 0.004 and 0.006 inches for the intake. And I've got it at the smallest setting I can possibly find on my feeler gauge, and it won't go in. So intake valves are tight. All of them are tight. The guy said he checked these, but I guess he didn't. And the exhaust valves are supposed to be between 0.007 and 0.009. And these actually look fine. This one goes in. Just barely. And then the other one does too. So exhaust valve's fine, intake are tight. So the cam's coming back out and we're going to shim the intake valves. Alright, so here are the buckets in here. We're going to take our magnet and try to fish this one out. You can see the bucket and the shim are out. And we've got them over on the table over here. So what we're going to do is measure this shim. It was pretty thick, so that's good. And then we'll do some calculations and see what new shim we need. Alright, here are the calculations we have. So what we want is 0.005 inches. That's where we've got the feeler gauge. And that comes out to be 0.127 millimeters. Our shim size measured to be, you can see right here, 1.88 millimeters. We've got that right there. So what we want to do is take that shim size and subtract the 0.127 millimeters, which would be this size right here, because technically we're at 0. So that comes to a new shim size of 1.753 millimeters. Alright, so I Loctited those two bolts into place on the sprocket, so those aren't coming off, so we can't jump time. And then we set timing perfectly, and we got the valves adjusted to 0.005. It took me a little bit to do it because they were actually less than 0. So I had to do it a couple times. But we finally got it, and we're gonna check compression and see if it goes up after doing that valve adjustment. Let's see if it went up here. We're gonna do throttle open, and we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, we're over 100 now. So that was the problem. Well, that's awesome. So let's get the spark plug back in, some gas in this thing, and we'll see if she fires up. Right, we'll check gas flow again. Make sure there's good gas flow. It's off right now. So we turn it on. Should have something come out. Oh yeah. Alright, we've got good gas flow there. That is awesome. So it's just a valve issue. Sounds really good. It wasn't smoking, because it's got a brand new piston in it. So why would it? Yeah, that is sweet. Who would have thought? It's just a valve issue. That's why you take the risk. And you go after the cheap bike, because you never know what the problem will be. And in this case, the guy just probably adjusted the valves wrong. All right, let's get this thing to idle. It was not idling at all. I think we just have to adjust the idle. We set the fuel screw to 2 turns out, and then I adjusted the idle a little bit. Let's see if she idles now. Got the screwdriver with me, just so we can fine tune it. Alright, let's do a quick oil change on this thing. The oil drain bolt is, you can see it right through the cover right here. And there's one on the oil pan right here. That is some gray oil there. Let that drain out. There's a lot in there. Doesn't look like any metal chunks yet. So that's good. Okay, second bolt is right underneath here. I showed you guys where that was before. Just a 10 millimeter. See if there's anything in the oil tank. Alright, now it's flowing out of the tank. I took the little plug out right here. Now there's a lot of oil in there. This thing probably had 3 quarts in it. That's crazy. We'll have to replace the filter as well. We'll run to the store and grab one of those. Alright, look how much oil was in there. Way over 1.3 quarts. Alright, we're on the right hand side of the bike here. So right here is the oil pressure release bolt. So what we want to do is just crack that open. And we're going to start up the bike here and just wait for oil to start dripping from that hole. If it never drips oil from that hole, we'll have to shut off the engine because that means the pump's not working. So let's see if we can start this thing up. shooting out of there. Alright, so oil pressure looked good, and then the window is filled up for the oil, so we've got plenty of oil in there, and it's getting circulated throughout the whole top end. So we are good there for the oil change. Alright, so this bike is good to go. Let's go take it for a test drive and see if it goes through all the gears. Hopefully it does. Otherwise we're tearing into the bottom end. Alright, this bike's all warmed up. Take her down the road. She's a little slippery and icy from all the snow melting. Got some good power. Thing's awesome. Gotta watch out for ice patches like right there. And right here. Icy right there. Great. Audio could probably be set a little bit lower. Still breaking it in, so there we go. Yeah, it runs pretty good. I like it. Not too bad for $13.50. Well, this thing's fixed, so it was only the valves causing the issue. So we got really lucky on this one. And we got this fixed in like probably less than an hour. So this thing's all good to go. Just have to clean out the air filter and she's gonna be ready to rip. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.